Hi, I'm Chuck Dorsett for Weaver Leathercraft, and we're going to make some boot straps. We're going to keep it simple for our first set. Looks great, but then we're going to step it up a little bit. All right, anything I use in this video, weaverleathercraft.com or check below. We've got links there. Going to take you straight to the website. So let's step over here, knock our pattern together. Great project. We can even add some color. Doesn't that pop? We can match a color on a boot, contrast, right here. Just add a simple detail, but that looks great. Okay, on our pattern, let's jump over, take a quick peek at our pattern. So for me, 21 inches, and we'll talk about that, but that's ample length. Not too tight, not too loose. On our left end, we've got a 2 1/4 inch spread for our oblong. We've got a 14 inch spread down to our size holes, 3/4 inch spread between each of our size holes. Now right here, I've got ample extra room on our tongue. We can trim that as close as we want. But just to me, I love that extra tongue hanging off there. That to me just looks really good. Now our length, we're going to go with 21 inches. But you'll notice, say right here, this is good for 21. But over here, I may have to bump this up to 23. There's just more boot there, but entirely up to you. Now I did not include our spots on our pattern. Again, up to you. Sky's the limit with this. We're simply going to sink in some 1/4 inch spots every 2 inches. It's going to look great. But it's a simple decoration that looks really good. All right, let's jump over to our main table. We're going to cut some leather. We're going to use our premium chrome pull-up leather. Now, cool thing here, we sell this in panels. So therefore, we don't have to buy a full side. We can make several pairs of straps, still have room for a project or two. Okay, width here, 3/4 inch. So let's mark for 2 straps. All right, and let's cut these. Okay, we've got our 2 straps, 3/4 inch. Let's move that out of the way. We're going to trim these down to 21 inches. 21, okay. Now with our last 2 pieces here, we're going to need 2 keepers, 2 3/4 inch long. So let's cut these. First off, 2 3/4 inch. Actually, we just need to cut one because 3/4 inch. We're going to make these 3/8. So therefore, if we simply bust that in the middle, we've got 2 3/8 inch. So let's mark the middle and cut there. Okay, looks good. Let's step over to our punch table, drop in some round holes and our end punches. Let's do these one end at a time. So I've got my pattern, going to drop that down, and let's just mark our 2 rivet holes on both pieces. Okay, revolving punch is more than enough. Second from my smallest because I want my rivet to roughly be a little bit snug in that hole. Okay, good. Now, typically, if we have a 3/4 inch strap, we would be using a 3/4 inch oblong. But I want to bump that up a little bit. Give the buckle bar a little extra room in there to move. Okay, oblongs in. Now, this isn't an absolute necessity, but it always looks good. Let's drop in a round end. Now, it's our bend back. So again, it's not really going to be visible, but let's drop that in anyway. Very professional. Okay, good. Now, let's jump to the other end. Let's drop in our pattern, and let's mark this from this end. Okay, and that same hole is going to work again, so our buckle bar is a little bit snug in our hole. It's not moving around on us. And the last hole, okay. And then to this end, let's come in with a 3/4 inch belt tip punch. Okay, straps, or at least our blanks are ready. Let's grab our keepers because all we need to do here, let's fold these over, butt the ends together. I'm going to drop a hole right there as close to the end as I can, but still leaving a little bit of room there for our rivet cap and base. Okay, that looks good. So let's step over to our pattern table, drop in some spots because on this pair, we are almost done. I love spots for a number of reasons. First off, they're inexpensive. Secondly, they're easy to put in. And third, they look great. But also another point, we can always drop these into projects we're working on. But an added point there, let's drop these into a pre-existing product. That could really breathe some new life into an older product that we love but maybe don't wear. Okay, trick here. We're going to add a spot every 2 inches. Well, we've got 14. That's going to be 6 spots. Easy enough. But a trick here is that if we're going to add spots and we want an equal distance between each spot as well as our start and our finish, we need to divide this distance by 1 more spot. That gives us the end. So therefore, if we're going to add 6 spots, we're going to take 14, divide by 7. That gives us our end. Okay, enough of that. We're going to use some very nice, these are antique nickel spots. It's going to look good with our buckle. So with this, let's mark on both straps, a mark every 2 inches all the way down. And our last 2 marks, okay. So let's do this. Best way to set spots is our little wonder. Each spot is perfect every time and it's fast, but we don't have one. Easy enough. We're going to take our 5/16 inch antique nickel flower spot. I'm going to take this on my first mark here. I'm going to take my 2 tines and I'm going to press that into my leather. Straddle that mark, okay? Let's take a small, that's just a cardboard pallet so I don't ding my blade. Now the trick here, I don't want more hole than tine. So let's be very careful, but easy leather to drive that craft knife through, okay? Let's take our spot, push that through, right into our pallet. There we go. And good, okay, flush all the way around. Let's take this. Now, let's be careful because we've got a sharp end here, but let's bend these tines inward. Okay, last step. Let's put this on our quartz. I'm going to use the corner of my pallet. Not too hard, not enough to ding this, but now I can feel that. Those 2 tines have sunk in. That's not going to grab or snag on anything. Okay, going to do the same with the rest of the spots on both straps. Okay, well that was easy enough. Clean and straight. Very cool. These look good thus far. All right, let's step over to our main table in the quartz there. Let's drop in a keeper and a buckle. This pair is done. Setting a small keeper can be a problem because what we need to do is circle this around. And I don't have an anvil that's going to fit in there. So let's take one of our Master Tools handles. Let's drop in the 1/4 inch rivet. We're going to use a smaller rivet here because we're going through 2 4-5s. Okay, got a rivet in there. Let's bring that around. There we go, just right. So let's drop that in. I'm going to take my setter, just a basic setter in my mallet. Look at that, easily set. We've got a 3/4 inch keeper. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other. Okay, keepers are set. Now we're going to use a heel bar buckle. I just like the look of it as opposed to a center bar. So with a heel bar, we need to add a keeper. Center bar, keeper's already there. I just like the look of this. Okay, so let's do this. Easy to forget this. Let's slide our keeper on first. Now let's bring our buckle in. This is our stainless steel brush finish. It's going to look good with our spots. So let's bring that through. With this, we used a 1 inch oblong, a little bit more than rule of thumb. But notice, now I've got ample room right here, and my buckle moves easily. Now, again, easy to forget. Let's pull our keeper on the inside of our rivet. It's another one of those things I've done so many times I don't want to admit it. Let's drop our cap on. Now, what we can do is let's let this hang off the edge of our quartz. Therefore, that roll has room there, and we can get a good flat set. Well, that looks fantastic. All right, I'm going to do the other one. Let's see how this looks on a pair of boots. All right, with this, now we can put our buckle up front. We can put our buckle in the back. I tend to like it on the outside. So let's bring that around to our 4th hole, which is right at our 14. Let's push our tine through there. It's good and solid. It's not going to flap around on us. There we go. Okay, well that's a good looking boot strap. Let's center that a little bit. Very cool. It's not too tight, so therefore over time it's going to wear. It's going to droop a little bit. That's going to look great. All right, let's jump back to our pattern table, step our game up a little bit. And that's exactly right, because we just stepped into an area, unlimited possibilities. So for our old school Western, pirate, period, all kinds of ways we can go with this. We're going to make a simple boot strap. Take that ball and run with it. Okay, one point. I've asked my boss if I could get a new pair of boots for the video. Yeah, you probably know what the answer to that one was. So we're just going to use my boot. But the biggest point here, our measurement's going to be easy to find. Notice right here, I've got a center point. Same on the other side. So really, I'm just going to measure from that backwards, forward, and underneath for my shank strap. So let's jump over to our digital pattern here. On our top, we've got our buckle tongue, 7 1/4 inches. Everything here is 3/4 inch, except our bottom strap, our shank strap. We got to watch for that. 5/8 of an inch, 9 1/2, 5 1/2, and then on our butterfly, this is going to be easier than it looks. So what I've done, I got patterns everywhere here. But what we can do, we simply have a 3 by 4 inch square. Okay, let's fold that twice. There we go. Now I can make my round corner cut. And also, right here, I can come in 1/4 of an inch and simply freehand that out or use a French curve. So what happens is when I unfold this, it's perfectly symmetrical. Perfect it is not, probably not going to be, but who's going to see that? Okay, so we've got a feel for our pattern. Now, we're going to use a heel bar buckle, but we're not necessarily going to need the keeper if we go with the center bar. But I love that look again. Okay, let's step over to our main table. Let's look at some leather for this. So many great ways we could go with leather. We could add some real color to these. But I would say if we're going with a lighter weight, 3 to 4, maybe a little bit supple, let's back that with something that's got a little more body so that our butterfly won't be too flimsy. Okay, we're going to go with our water buffalo. Love it. Very affordable, nice matte finish. This is going to look good. Okay, so on our 3/4, we're going to need 2 of each. Same with our shank. So what I'll do is I'm going to cut 2 3/4 straps, 1 at 5/8, and then down here, we'll use this for our butterfly. Okay, our last cut there. Let's jump down here to this end. I'm going to scribe in our 2 butterflies, and we'll take our keeper right out of one of these pieces. Okay, those look good. Keepers are ready. And you know what? I am famous for picking the darkest color possible for our projects and our videos, and evidently not going to stop there, but love this leather. Okay, let's pull out our patterns and let's mark the holes on each of these. And our last piece, there we go, marks are in. Okay, let's step over to our punch table, drop in some holes. All right, let's drop this in. We've done just about everything here before. 3/4 inch strap, so I'm going to drop in a 3/4 inch oblong, 2 marks. Okay, let's jump over to our keeper. We've done this before. Let's shoot for about the second from the smallest hole. Okay, keepers are set. Now everything here, everything is going to connect to a Chicago screw. So on both ends here, one end on our buckle side, one end on our tongue side, and both here. So let's jump up on our revolving all the way up to the largest hole. And now let's punch, first off our shank straps. Let's punch these by the mark. Okay, those are set. Right here, we're going to use that same larger hole for the end, but let's back up a few. On our smaller straps, or the first set of straps, it was a little tight. So let's jump up to the 3rd hole from the bottom. And our last hole. Okay, let's move our patterns out of the way, because now what we're going to do is drop round ends on the end, both ends of just about every strap. So what we've got here, our tongue, we need a round end because we're going to go to a screw. Same on our buckle side, shank, and back piece. Actually, those are reversed. Okay, there we go. shank and back piece. So right here, 3/4 inch round end. Okay, that's set. Let's jump over here. We need this on both ends, and we're going to drop in our oblong. Now, technically, these are chuck proof because I am bad about putting the oblong on the wrong end. But here, our measurements, they're almost the same. But we're going to go for that end, for the end that's just a bit shorter. Okay, over here, round end towards our Chicago screw, English point, 3/4 inch down here. Okay, that looks good. Now for our shanks, we could certainly jump down to a 5/8 inch round end, but that's a little bit of an obscure size. So let's just use our 3/4 inch because this will be on the very inside. We'll never see that, but nonetheless, looks finished and professional. Okay, let's jump over to our quartz. We're going to knock in our buckle, and from there, we are almost done. Nothing we haven't done yet, so let's start with our keepers. Set these exactly the same way we set our last. Okay, keepers are set. Now we're going to jump back over to the same buckle, 3/4 inch stainless. For a couple of reasons. First off, I love the brush finish look, but the stainless, very solid. Last point, and we may not think about this, boot straps are going to be on our feet. So therefore, water, moisture, first place that's going to hit, these are going to stand up and hold up for us. All right, so let's do this. And again, like I said, let's don't forget that keeper. Okay, good pattern. Notice our buckle has ample room to move. It's not binding. Okay, pattern table, let's assemble these. With our straps, I want a left and a right. I want my tongue sticking away from my other boot. But with these, since we're going to connect these with a Chicago screw, it really doesn't matter because I just flipped the shank and I've got a left or right. So that keeps some of the confusion down. Also, we can always add an O-ring for our connection. But in my opinion, just my opinion, that takes up a lot of real estate. And also too, I'm just not big on the look. Okay, let's start right here. I'm going to take my buckle side, come through one side of my butterfly, and let's take a 1/4 inch floral Chicago screw, add just a dab of glue in that. I don't want to seal that forever in case I have to replace it, but I do at least want to tack it down. Okay, jump over to our next strap. Let's drop that in. That's going to go across our back, easy enough. And then our shank strap. Let's drop that in last. Add our screw. Okay, we can tighten that with a screwdriver if we need to. Let's come around the other side. Bring our tongue through. There we go, get the right side coming back. We're going to put a screw through this first, so that'll be on the outside. And our back strap next, and last, our shank strap. Now, these are 1/4 inch Chicago screws, so they're not going to tighten totally down, but that's okay. That gives us a little movement there. All right, let's connect this. We're going to go to the third hole. Okay, well that looks good. Very cool. Now, little plain, little basic. Yep, that's exactly right. We're getting the feel of making these. That, from there on, is entirely up to you. Okay, let's jump over to the other one. We're done. And the second one, well, those just look great. Let's take a look at these on a pair of boots. Well, that looks good. Snug, but not tight. Good measurement, good pattern. Right here, the pirate look. Boy, that's fantastic. Love the black and brass. And of course, the veg tan. We can do so much with that. But doesn't that look great? All right, great project. And a fun project too, whether you want to go simple or absolutely extravagant. But here's the coolest part. It's a project we can wear and love every day of the week. I hope every pair of boot straps you make are beautiful. Good luck with your projects.